Welcome to Warmup, Kevin Calabro and the go-to guy, Jim Moore, here on 710 ESPN Seattle. A whole lot of talk on the radio station today about who in the world is going to play center field for the Seattle Mariners. I suggested Trayvon Robinson yesterday, just off the cuff, and you blanched.
Well, it's not like I know the ins and outs of Trayvon Robinson's game. I think he's defensively okay, but there's some question about his throwing arm. He's got a hole in his stretch. I mean, he's got problems hitting.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Right, Brady? Am I right?
He'll fit right in.
That's fair to say.
So I mean, you got Saunders.
I like the idea of Figgins.
How about Casper Wells? Is that such a bad idea?
No, it's not a bad idea. You know, do it by committee. We don't know, though, how long Gutierrez is going to be out. The MRI results have not come back as we talk to you today at 3 o'clock. That may change during the course of our big broadcast, and we'll fill you in on what's going on as they do an MRI on the what Wedge said yesterday he thought was a pec muscle. So,
how long does it take to get an MRI anyway? I mean, you go in and you do it, and it takes.
That's a great question. I thought they were
hours.
I thought they were instantaneous.
I thought so too.
But you got to have people to read them, I guess, and interpret them and that type of thing. And then I don't know. So apparently it is a longer process than we in our drive-through nation would hope for. We'll come right back with another note on today's show.
Forget cable, switch to Frontier. The Fios Triple Play brings dedicated 100% fiber optics to your home. Fios TV, 15x5 internet and digital phone for $119.99 per month with 2-year price protection plan on qualifying service. FrontierPacificNW.com.
Well, today Sports Illustrated wrote a lengthy article about the UCLA Bruins under Ben Howland. Since 2008, the thing has just absolutely unraveled down there. It seems like the center of the storm revolves around Reeves Nelson and his treatment of players, coaches, managers. There seems to be a lot of partying going on down there as well, not only by Reeves Nelson, but other players as well. Generally, a lack of, what do they say, institutional control there, to a point where they're a 16-13 ball club. They're 9-7 in conference, Jim. I think only because they're UCLA and in the second largest market in the country does the NIT invite them. There's no way the NCAA is going to be, unless, of course, they run the table in the tournament in Los Angeles. I don't think that's likely given the nature of what's going on down there at UCLA. Looks very bad for Ben Howland, to say the least.
Well, and he didn't get a vote of confidence. This LA Times story today, Dan Guerrero, he's going to wait before committing to Ben Howland for next year even. He stopped short of that because of all these allegations. As you said, most of them involving Reeves Nelson, but all the other kids too. Prima donnas who didn't have consequences to their actions. So
they ran off a lot of talent, didn't they? There's a whole roster, and we'll go over them, a whole roster of kids that are playing at other D1 programs, other programs, by the way, that are going to the NCAA tournament, with these kids being at the top of the rotation in the starting lineup for BYU, for UNLV, for New Mexico. There's some good kids that have been run out of that program because of, if you read the Sports Illustrated article carefully, because of run-ins with Reeves Nelson and the way that they were able to just, I guess, justify, the coaches, or Ben Howland was able to justify this kid's poor behavior.
I've never, some of the things in that story, I've never heard of another player trying to intentionally injure a teammate in practice. Never heard of that.
That is not good. And
I'm sure it's happened, but to actually read it in print. Pretty shocking stuff.
It's in SI. We're going to endeavor to talk to a number of people today throughout college basketball and again tomorrow about this, because this is a huge story on the eve, of course, of next week, March 7th. The NCAA, or I should say the Pac-12 basketball tournament down in Los Angeles on the 7th. That's today at 3 right here on 710 ESPN Seattle.